Hello, everybody. This is AG here, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas here, as we are ready for Sprint Series Night in America in Austin, Texas. This is the 7th race of the season in the Wawa Sprint Series, but the first on a road course, and we're going to have ourselves a lot of fun with this race. Had a great race last night in the IndyCar Series. We saw all kinds of stuff go on in that race, and we'll have to see if that goes on here. Joined alongside Daniel Paulus Jr. again, and Andrew Miller. Of course, Daniel, you recorded the race with me last week, and we saw Dale Johnson II go to race victory lane, but there were a lot of passes in that race. I don't think we're going to see as many in this one, but what do you need to do to go to victory lane here at Circuit of the Americas, considering that we do not have any pit stops here in this event?
Yeah, EG. It's great to be back here at COTA. The one thing you want to do to get into victory lane here is don't overshoot the turns and don't make any mistakes on the final lap that could cost you the win.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see if these guys make any mistakes. We saw a lot of mistakes made in the IndyCar race yesterday, a lot of wrecks, especially through the S's there. There was one trouble corner in particular. And Andrew, it's going to be fascinating to see how this first lap goes. That could easily determine the race winner. Lap number 1, turn number 1 could be the way to go. How do these guys manage jumbling up the hill and into that first turn without wrecking?
Oh, man. A little bit of patience probably has to come into play to that. But as you said, the passing is not going to be easy to come by. So they're going to have to try to make up ground in that first corner without getting too crazy and thus end up wiping yourself out, wiping out someone else. So it's a balancing act, trying to actually get it right between aggression and conservation to just try to keep yourself in it.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get these guys to roll off here since it's a very long pace lap. And the 07, as it has been for most of the races this season, run by Jim Vincenleff, who comes into this race third in the point standings. Benny Moore is the points leader coming into this race, but Benny Moore is not in this race. He failed to make the sign up, so more likely than not, we're going to have ourselves a new points leader at the end of the day. Trey Bartow is second in the points standing, 6 points behind. Vincenleff is 10 points behind. Sam Odoskin 12 points behind, and Avery Alford 13 points behind coming into this race. And like I mentioned, Vincenleff there starting on the pole in the 07. That's the best place to start here at the Circuit of the Americas, alongside Joe Rutkowski in the 74. Got the 45 machine is Skylar Taylor once again. He made it into the Cup race last week, and he's going to be alongside the 56, which is driven by Mason Brown here for this 5-lap event. Row number 3 sees the 75, or should I say the 85, of Philip Torres, starting alongside, you know what, I completely messed up there. 4th place is the 83 of Avery Alford, and then you have the Hairgel Motorsport cars of Philip Torres and Mason Brown, starting in row number 3. Then we got the 75 of Sam Odoskin and the 80 machine, driven this week by Ryan Kinghart. Great to see Ryan Kinghart back behind the wheel of a machine here on AG the channel. Then Trey Bartow's in the 96 this week alongside Cole Raymond in the 7. The 40 machine is Bruno Diacomo. And then the 4, your favorite driver, Andrew, of Luna Lona. We got the 00 there of Will Parrish to the inside of Dale Johnson II, who won last week at Rockingham. 02 machine Tyreek Hartman to the inside of Cameron Lassard. We got the 78 of Jacob Walker and the 01 of Alex Lozano, and then Chase Harris, 5-time winner in the IndyCar Series, to the inside of Max Davis, making his first career start on the channel here today. 120 car field. Daniel and then Andrew. Who do you guys think is going to get the race victory here in the Wawa Sprint Series from Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah, AG. The one person I want to look out for is the 07 of Jim. You know, he's starting on the front row. He looks like he's got a strong car, and he's really good at these road courses, so I can't wait to see what he can do.
I think that's a pretty good pick there, but I'm going to have my eye on that 45 there. In prime position, starting on the inside lane, but without the pressure of needing to guide the start pretty much. So I'm going to I always say Skylar Taylor might have some good luck here, but so far every driver I've picked to win in this channel hasn't gone well. So sorry, 45, if I just jinxed it.
We'll have to see how that all goes down for Skylar Taylor. Of course, both Vincent and Taylor were in the Cup race last Saturday, and Vincent did an excellent job in that 07 in the Cup race. So this car could very well end up going to the points lead with Vincent as the new points leader. Of course, like I mentioned, Benny Moore, the points leader coming into this race, not in this race. It's going to be the first race he has missed this season. And a great opportunity for Bartow and especially Jim Vincent to take that points lead away heading into the next race, which will be at Texas. Of course, sign-ups for that race going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time. We finally moved to daylight here in the States. That'll be at 7:30. But right now, this guy's going to focus on this race, the first road course of the season, and an opportunity to race on Saturday in the Rowdy NR2003 here at COTA. It's going to be a great race on Saturday, and I think we're going to have a good one here for the Wawa Sprint Series. Oh my goodness, you have to be kidding me. And yeah, we're back now. Jim Vincent as you saw, blew an engine, but like I just mentioned, the rule is everyone has to cross the start-finish line under full speed, and I'm not redoing all of that because that took like 5 minutes. So here we go. It's Sprint Series Night in America in Austin, Texas, and Circuit of the Americas. Green flag in the air in the Wawa Sprint Series at COTA. An orderly start there, but Rakowski trying to work this outside lane on Vincent but he's a little wide there. And of course, these guys will be going wide throughout Turn Number 1 all weekend long. We saw it in the IndyCar Series yesterday, and we're seeing it right here. And a good jump there to Jim Vincent These guys aren't going to be quite as loose as those IndyCar guys. They got a lot more grip. But how about Philip Torres up to the 3rd position there, as Rakowski did not get a good jump on the start in that 74 machine. Go through the S's right here.
Yeah, as you see the 07 of Jim going for the S's, keeping the lead there. Now, I want to focus back in on 2nd place here. Now, you see the 45 made into the Cup Series last week. He was very strong. So don't be shocked if he's really strong here tonight at COTA and making it into the Cup Series on Saturday.
We're just going to have to see if Skylar Taylor can in fact do so. Closing in here on Jim Vincent one thing we got to watch out for. These guys running into each other through the corners, and right there, Bruno Giacomo in the 40 with some damage on his hood. And this is something we're going to see on Saturday as well. These guys kind of buckling in their hoods, and if they get enough damage, they're going to have to come down the pit lane to repair it. But Skylar Taylor trying to close in here on the 07 to Jim Vincent It's very difficult to make a pass, but this is one of the passing lanes here at Circuit of the Americas. But these guys going much slower than the IndyCar guys, and they just don't quite have the grip to really power down on the inside. Mason Brown there on Giacomo for position. Mason Brown did not have a good start to the race. And Andrew, very clean and orderly start, a lot different than what we saw yesterday in the IndyCar Series. But now that we're kind of ordered out, do you think Vincent going to pull it off here?
Well, he's got to pull a little bit of a gap here on this 45, trying to get away from the slipstream, because even with these heavy stock cars, there's still long enough straightaways here that a little bit of slipstream could come into play, primarily going into turn 1 and then the other hairpin off the back stretch. So 07's going to try to pull a little bit of a gap here over these couple laps to try to pull it off.
And of course, one of the big things in the Wawa Sprint Series, and we mentioned this last week, is that every driver who has won so far this year in the Wawa Sprint Series has won their first career race on the channel. And may change here today if Vincent can get it done. He won at Daytona earlier on in the season. Rutkowski looking for a nose to the inside of Philip Torres, but not enough of a run. But how about this 45? He's kind of sticking right here with the 07. Now, the big thing on Saturday when we get to the Cup races, we'll have 2 cycles of pit stops in that race, and that will easily determine who gets the race victory. These guys do not have to worry about that, so it's all about speed on the racetrack. And Skylar Taylor knows this is his only opportunity at getting this race victory, and see if he can make a natural pass on the racetrack. Daniel, how hard is it to make a pass here at Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah, it's really hard to make a pass here at COTA because you don't want to overshoot the turns, because if you overshoot the turns, you're going to run off the road course. But what you want to do is you want to get to the guy's bumper, then after that, you're going to want to go to his inside and then passing lane. You're going to try to get on his quarter panel and try to pass him, and that's all you can really do here on these road courses.
And of course, this turn right here, the hairpin at the top end of the racetrack. It isn't as easy to make a pass there as it seems, because that outside lane actually gets the grip off the exit. You're going to see that right there with Avery Alford getting the advantage on Trey Bartow. Now, Bartow probably does not want Vincent left to dominate this race. He's already got a bonus point for leading a lap in that 07. And Bartow wants that points lead, and he's second in the points right behind Benny Moore, who is not in this race, so a huge opportunity for Bartow to take that points lead away. Well, these guys really jamming up there into that corner, and you got the 74 there, Sam Oskin on his teammate, Joe Rutkowski. That is for the last transfer spot, so remember, top 4 will make it on into the Cup race on Saturday. And I'm sure both Oskin and Rutkowski want to be in that event. Right now, Philip Torres, Skylar Taylor, Jim Vincent holding on to those positions right now, and Vincent trying to pull away here in the 07 for Titan Fury Racing. Of course, in that Cup race, Vincent was very quick in that 07, got a podium finish in the Cheerwine 400 there as a Sprint Series driver. I think that may have been the best finish out of a Sprint Series driver all season long in the Cup Series.
You see him really sliding coming off of that carousel there. These guys are really putting the hammer down, but fancy this. We're pretty much, oh goodness, 40.
Yeah, and then Giacomo, as we saw, kind of got into somebody there on the hairpin of turn 1, and just like we mentioned, they come in and repair the damage. So not at all what Giacomo wants in the 40 machine, as he's now 25 seconds off the race lead. And he had to make a pit stop in a race where they can make it the whole way without coming down the pit lane. Well, Skylar Taylor about a second off of Vincent left, but it's not over yet. The downside is, the longer we get into a run, the more the tires wear out, the harder it is to really gain an advantage on a driver. But we saw yesterday, kind of through the S's, kind of near the end of the S's here at Circuit of the Americas, that one corner, these guys can get a little loose, and that opened the door as a great passing opportunity for the open wheel guys yesterday. But these guys aren't going near as fast and not carrying as much speed through this part of the racetrack, and they're not making as many mistakes because they just don't have the speed in those cars to make that mistake. But got to give a lot of credit to Taylor for kind of holding on to this second position, and right there, where we saw a lot of action take place in Firestone, Indy, Texas. We'll have to see if Skylar Taylor, though, can take advantage of the 07's mistakes, and look at that! That 07 did not have a good exit there, and Skylar Taylor right on the back bumper of the 07 for the race lead. We got right
as
here.
You were talking right there. As you saw the 45, the 07 didn't get a great corner there, but don't count this 45 just yet. I think he has something to do here that could win this race.
Of course, both of your guys' picks to win this event. Of course, Dan, you picked Vincent left, and you're winning right now. And Andrew, you had Skylar Taylor. Going to be interesting to see if that 45 can, in fact, get something to work on this 07. Everybody single file still here. But we do have some damage there on Jacob Walker in the 78. He buckled his hood. See if anyone else has done that. I don't think so. How about Chase Harris? You know, it's a hard place to make a pass, but if there's anybody who can do it, it's this guy. 2020 IndyCar Series, he ended up going 5 wins on the season in a 16-race season. And I think it's impressive that he went from starting 19th going to 15th in 3 laps here at Circuit of the Americas. Of course, he probably gained a lot of that on the start, but solid run for his first start here in the Wawa Sprint Series. Hopefully we'll see Chase Harris more this season. And this race is kind of closing down pretty quickly. 2 laps to go as we cross the line here at Circuit of the Americas for Jim Vincent left. And Skylar Taylor is still right there. And one mistake out of that 07, that 45 is going to strike.
Not going to take much if Vincent left even just outbreaks himself just that tiny little bit. But I don't know. With how difficult passing has been, it's like you said, it's probably going to take a mistake out of that 07. But hey, not to count out that 45. We saw how close he got to the 07's bumper going into the top end hairpin.
And he absolutely had a faster lap right there than Vincent left, so he's definitely closing in. I want to focus on this battle as well. Sam Oskin and Joe Rutkowski there. Or sorry, Oskin's in the 75, Rutkowski's in the 74. Did I get that confused earlier? Rutkowski's been with Appalachian Motorsports nearly this entire season. I'm not sure if Oskin actually made the pass on Rutkowski or not. We're going to have to go back and see if that in fact did happen. You'll see that, or would have seen that on the corner of your screen. Meanwhile, still focusing here on Skylar Taylor, who I think has a faster car, but it's just not enough places on this racetrack to make a good pass. If he can get to his back bumper, though, down the backstretch and shoot it down to the inside on that tight left-hander, he could have a shot. We're going to have to see if he can pull that off.
Yeah, and all the 07 of Jim just wants to do is just see that white flag, and you just want to keep racing. Do not look in your mirror. Just keep racing, and don't make any mistakes, and you got it.
You still got enough of a gap here on the 45 machine back in here. These three guys are pretty close. Sam and Oskin almost... He's got to be careful not to run into the back of the 85 or otherwise lose that position going into the Cup race. We'll have to see if Oskin can, in fact, hold on to it here. The 75 machine. You got Joe Rakowski there in the 74. Doing a great job holding on to 5th, but that's not enough to make it into the Cup race. Avery Alford able to hold off Trey Bartow, who's been kind of forcing the issue on him throughout this event. The top two have pulled away. These two obviously much faster, and both of these guys, like I said, made the Cup race last week. They're both fast in the Cup race last week. Of course, Taylor was a lap down, but he was battling with the leaders and caused a little bit of havoc there for the race leaders in that event. But here we go. Already the white flag here at Circuit of the Americas in the Wawa Sprint Series, and it's not over yet. Skylar Taylor's right there on the back bumper of Jim Vincent left, and he might be able to close it in here on this last lap.
See what the gap is here. See if it was any faster of a lap time for that 45. Pretty
Gained
similar.
A little bit. Vincent left trying to go flag to flag, wire to wire here. I think Luna did that at Phoenix to get her first win of the season in the Wawa Sprint Series. But I don't know. Skylar Taylor's in that same ride that Luna won with at Phoenix. We'll have to see if he can, in fact, pull it off here on the 07. Last time through the S's here for the Wawa Sprint Series. And like I said, on Saturday, we have ourselves 2 cycles of pit stops. That is really going to make this race interesting. These guys don't have that. And that's why we've kind of been seeing a bit of a choo-choo train around Circuit of the Americas here today. We'll see a little bit of that in the Cup race, but once those pit stops come around, it's going to get very interesting because adjustments on the pit lane really allow these guys to make passes here on the racetrack. Vincent left with a good exit there through the S's, and that may have just sealed it there for Vincent left to get his second win of the season and grab the points lead here in the Wawa Sprint Series.
I think the 85 also really closed the gap quite a bit. Yeah, look at that. That whole pack has gained on them a ton. So yeah, I'm starting to think that probably 45 may have used up his stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say the 07 and Jim has this race punched. But look at the 45 as he's getting there. He tried, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the 07's got it.
That was a bold move there. He closed in, but kind of now on a part of the racetrack where you really can't get an advantage on the other driver, but we'll have to see. Taylor did close in a little bit there on the 07, but it's just so difficult to really close that driver in and make the pass. Jim Vincent left, obviously one of the best drivers this season in the Wawa Sprint Series, other than Benny Moore, but he's going to take advantage of Benny Moore not being in this race, and looks like the streak might finally end. We'll finally get our first multi-time winner here in the Wawa Sprint Series, and Iker Breto's going to be happy about this. Going to get another owner win on the channel as well, so aren't you glad we already did the race, Jim? Going to go wire to wire here at Circuit of the Americas. Jim Vincent left off at turn 20. He's going to get it done here in Austin, Texas. He's going to win his second race of the season here in the Wawa Sprint Series. And it's the same top 4 there with Skylar Taylor, Philip Torres, and Simon Oskin advancing on. They will be running in the Rowdy Energy 375K on Saturday. And Avery Alford actually gained a position there on Joe Rutkowski at the end of that race. And then Trey Bartow going to finish 7th. Mason Brown there in 8th. And then you got Will Parrish in the 00. And the 80 machine of Ryan Kingar rounding out the top 10. Well, that was interesting. No doubt about it. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting on Saturday in the Cup Series race with 2 cycles of pit stops these guys are going to have to go through. And that was a calm race. It might be the calmest race of the season, but when these guys signed up meant quite a bit. And Jim Vincent left obviously proved that to us as he was the first one to sign up, won the pole, grabbed the race victory. And Daniel, you're in. Both of you guys are actually in Saturday's race. What did you learn from today, and how do you think the pit stops are going to affect the Rowdy Energy 375?
Well, the first thing I learned, AG, is watching these guys during the race helps us Cup drivers, because then we can expect what is going to happen during the Cup race on Saturdays. Now, the one thing I want to point out is when these drivers first started the race, the first 2 laps, They were close to each other. They can gain on each other. But as the time went on throughout this road course race, they kept losing ground. And only 2 drivers pulled away. So I can expect that during the Cup race with us. But like you said, when these pit stops happen, it's going to shake up a lot.
Yeah, pit stops will definitely play a part in it, but it looks like track position is going to end up being your best friend. Passing still going to be really difficult. I mean, you're also going to have a bigger field, so that might stack them up a little more for a little longer. So I'll be expecting something along that line. But whoever starts probably in the top 10, I would say, maybe even closer to the front than that, are probably going to be in it with the best shot. Come the main deal.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you see the starting lineup for the Rowdy NR2003 on the right-hand side of your screen. But don't let that one fool you, because those pit stops are really going to shake things up. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, we're going to have Stuart Grattan in the booth. I know you all love Stuart, and I've known him longer than pretty much anyone else. It's going to be great to have him back in the booth here for the Wawa Cup Series. And that'll be on Saturday at noon Eastern Time, right here on AAG, the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, next race is at Texas Motor Speedway. That's going to be we're going to have some more passes in that race, no doubt about it. And signups for the Wawa Sprint Series at Texas, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. So in just a few minutes, this is a bit of a longer race because of how long this racetrack is. So hope to see you guys for that one as we head up to Fort Worth. Thank you guys so much for watching. A huge thanks to Daniel Paulus Jr. and Andrew Miller for helping me call this one here from Circuit of the Americas, and we will see you guys on Saturday for the Rowdy NR2003 Congratulations to Jim Vincent-Leff on his race victory here at COTA, and here are the point standings after 7 races. I will see you guys later.